There is something very theatrical about Nigeria politics. It feels like a stage play that never ends. Same actors, same lines, and same drama. Election after election, the same faces return, playing the same roles, using same tricks, and the audience, which are Nigerian people, are tired, frustrated, angry, but still watching, still hoping that maybe, just maybe, this time the script will change. But it never does. Now, let me introduce one of the main actors once again to you. That is Atiku Abubakar. By 2027, Atiku Abubakar will be 80 years old. At that age, most people are thinking about rest, about grandchildren, about legacy. But not Atiku. He is preparing for another presidential run. His 7th attempt to become Nigeria's president. This time, his ambition is no longer just personal. It represents something bigger, something deeper, and something uncomfortable. Because Atiku's 2027 ambition is not really about winning. It is about continuation. Continuation of a political system that has controlled Nigeria since independence. Continuation of who controls Aso Rock. Continuation of who is allowed to lead and who is not. To understand what is happening now, we must go back to 2023. Something historic happened in that election. Peter Obi, running on the Labour Party platform, did something nobody expected. He shattered the traditional two-party system, APC versus PDP. That old formula cracked. Millions of young Nigerians stood up. First-time voters came out. Ethnic and religion lines were crossed. The obedient movement was born. For many people, Peter Obi was not just a candidate, it was a possibility. A sign that Nigeria could break away from the old political order. Even after Bola Tinubu was declared winner, amid controversies, irregularities, and court battles, something important happened. That energy did not die. People began to talk about coalitions, opposition unity. Building on what 2023 started, 2027 suddenly felt different. Then came the shock. The African Democratic Congress, ADC, a party many saw as a possible platform for opposition unity, began making strange declarations. State chairmen, one after another, said there will be no zoning. And in Nigeria, in a country where zoning, the informal rotational of power between North and South, has been the fragile glue holding this country together, everyone understood what no zoning really meant. It meant that the presidency is going north again. And let us be very honest, no zoning has never been about merit. It has never been about competence. When politicians say no zoning, what they really means is we are changing the rules because someone else is about to win. It is like moving the goalposts just when someone is about to score. To fully understand this, we must revisit what happened inside the PDP before 2023. Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi were both in PDP. In 2019, Peter Obi loyally served as Atiku's running mate. He was relatively unknown nationally then, but he did his job. But by 2023, everything had changed. The South, especially the Southeast, was demanding the presidency. After Buhari's 8 years, basic fairness demanded power shift. But Atiku saw an opening. APC looked vulnerable. PDP was weak but desperate. This was Atiku's moment. There was only one problem: Peter Obi. Obi represented everything Atiku did not. Youth appeal, fiscal discipline, clean record, and most importantly, he was an Igboman. And for certain power blocks, that was unacceptable. Inside PDP, the environment became hostile. The message was clear: power will not go back to the Southeast. Not now. Not through an Igboman. Peter Obi read the room and made a bold move. He left PDP. He joined Labour Party. Many people call it political suicide at that time. Now, here is the uncomfortable truth Nigerians must face. Atiku knew he could not defeat Tinubu outright, but he knew something else. If he ran and Peter Obi ran, the opposition vote would split. And that is exactly what happened. Tinubu won with about 37% of the vote. Combined, Atiku and Obi had more votes than Tinubu. In states like Lagos, Tinubu's supposed stronghold, Obi won. But divided opposition handed victory to APC. That was not an accident, it was strategy. Now, fast forward to 2027. Same man called Atiku Abubakar is playing the same playbook. At 80 years old, what exactly is Atiku trying to prove? He has been vice president, he is wealthy, he has run 6 times already without winning any of the election. So why now? The answer is simple but painful. Atiku is not the composer of this music. He is the instrument. His ambition serves a larger agenda, the northern political establishment's determination to retain control. It blocked Peter Obi, the most viable opposition candidate in decades. Number 2, it split opposition vote again. And number 3, it sends a loud message: the presidency is not for the Southeast. And if Tinubu wins again because of this division, so be it, because the calculation is very, very simple. Better Tinubu for 4 more years than an Igbo president. After that, power returns to North in 2031. The circle continues. This is not conspiracy theory. This is a pattern recognition. Let us look at the numbers. Since independence in 1960, Nigeria has had 16 head of states, Northerners 11 leaders, about 44 years in power. Southwest 4 leaders, about 13 years, and Southeast 0 in a democratic era. Only 6 months under Aguiyi Ironsi before he was killed in 1966. That is not coincidence. That is systematic exclusion. Going back to 1999, Nigeria was returning to democracy. The Southeast presented credible candidates, people like Dr. Alex Ekweme, educated, experienced, and nationally respected. But political negotiation happened behind closed doors. The deal was struck because Abiola, a Yoruba man, won the annulled 1993 election. The Southwest should be compensated. So presidency went to Yoruba candidates. But that logic conveniently ignored the fact that the Southeast had been marginalized since the Civil War ended in 1970. Nearly 30 years of exclusion, yet they were told to wait again, and they have been waiting ever since. Now, back to ADC. After 2023, there was hope, real hope. Young Nigerians believed the country could change. ADC could have embraced Sone, but a coalition about Peter Obi forced a real contest in 2027. Instead, they said no zoning. Same old scripts. Create confusion. Create multiple candidates. Divide opposition. Protect the status quo. Here is the most disturbing part of it. There are powerful people in Nigeria who would rather endure inflation, insecurity, currency collapse, hardship than allow an Igboman to become Nigerian president. That is how deep this goes. This is no longer about policy, not about competence, not about Nigeria's future. It is about power. If Atiku runs in 2027 and Tinubu wins again, what happens next? By 2031, Tinubu exceeds. Power shifts back to North. Another northern candidate emerges. Peter Obi will be 70, still capable, but the moment would have passed. The youth energy of 2023 would fade, and another generation of Igbo children would grow up learning a painful lesson. You can contribute to Nigeria, but you can never lead Nigeria. And when we ask ourselves, why are young people leaving? Why is national unity weakening? This is why. Nigeria has never given the Southeast a fair shot of the presidency in a democratic era. Not once. When others ran, they had northern backing, Western structures, institutional support. When Peter Obi ran, he had young people, social media, hope, and still he came third. winning states across the country. Imagine what he could do with real support. That is what scares the establishment, not failure. Success. At 80 years old, Atiku's ambition is not about service. It is about preserving an unjust system. And Nigerians are tired. Tired of the same faces, tired of the same tricks, tired of watching competence lose to tribe. In 2023, elections showed something powerful. Nigeria are ready. The question is, will the political class change the script or keep recycling the same actors, hoping we won't notice it is a rerun? The Southeast has waited 64 years. How much longer should they wait? And how long can Nigeria survive while excluding millions of its people from its highest office? That is the real question. Atiku's 2027 ambition forces us to ask that critical question. I want to see your opinion in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel for more updates like this, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.